Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj. The internet explodes after their wild social media war. Girl, close the door and grab your popcorn because the rap queens are at it again. And this time it's messier than ever. Just when everyone thought the tension between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj had cooled down after Cardi dropped her new album, they came back swinging like it's round two in the ring. Nobody expected this kind of chaos, but it hit the internet like a storm. What started as a few shady tweets turned into a full-blown war of words, and it got ugly. Let's break it all down step by step. It all started when Nicki began retweeting a series of posts bragging about her massive record sales. She had every right to celebrate, but the timing was very interesting. The internet was already buzzing about how well Cardi's new album was doing, especially since she hadn't released one in over 7 years. Fans were comparing numbers and debating if Cardi had sold 199,600 or a clean 200,000 copies in her first week. While all that was happening, Nicki decided to highlight her own success. She retweeted posts saying things like, "Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 remains the biggest debut for a female rap album this decade." And Nicki holds 2 of the top 5 biggest Spotify debuts for a female rap project ever. Now, was that a coincidence? Fans didn't think so. Many believed Nicki was throwing shade at Cardi, and to be fair, the timing made it seem that way. That's when things really started heating up. Nicki didn't stop with the subtle bragging. She went all in. She dropped a wild tweet filled with bars that everyone instantly knew were aimed at Cardi. It went something like this: "Barney dangerous, iffy. Falling off the charts with a big belly, running trains barefoot, still smelly, still couldn't outsell me." It was brutal, and the internet lit up. The alphabet line was a clear dig at Cardi's track Magnet, a song where Cardi had used a similar ABC-style flow while shading JT, who just so happens to be one of Nicki's close allies. That's when fans realized Nicki was taking things personally. Cardi saw the shade, and she wasn't about to let that slide. She fired back instantly with some tweets of her own saying, "Coca-Cola Barbie, the power I have make these expletive. Come out of rehab every time. Go to your room. You must have missed me, huh?" Then she added, "Now kiss my feet." At this point, social media went into full meltdown mode. Both fanbases, the Barbz and the Bardi Gang, started going at each other non-stop. Every tweet, every emoji, every photo became a weapon. But Nicki wasn't backing down either. She doubled down, tweeting more shady lines like, "Raw dogging pregnant with the 4th baby. Barbie B. Fetch PV." It was obvious that she was calling out Cardi over her personal life, and things went from petty to deeply personal. Cardi fired right back with even more heat. She accused Nicki of being obsessed with her and said, "Why you keep bringing up my album? You've been in the game for 16 years, you should be competing with your peers like Rihanna, Drake, and Taylor Swift. Not me." Oof, that one stung. Cardi made it clear that she wasn't about to let Nicki talk down to her, just because she's newer to the rap game. And just when people thought it couldn't get messier, it did. Cardi then brought up Nicki's family issues and her brother's legal troubles, posting a picture of him in a pink Barbie wig. It was savage. Nicki clapped back by posting a photo of Jay-Z wearing the same wig, clearly mocking Cardi's connections. Then she went even further, sharing an old picture of Cardi in a Barney costume from their infamous 2018 New York Fashion Week fight, where Cardi allegedly threw a shoe at her. The level of pettiness was unmatched. Fans were torn. Some said Nicki was defending her crown. Others said Cardi was just tired of being disrespected. But one thing was certain, this wasn't just a random fight. It was years of tension finally exploding in public. And just when you thought this feud was only between the two of them, JT from the City Girls decided to jump in, and she added gasoline to the fire. JT mocked Cardi, tweeting, "Oh, that expletive home ugly and mad. No celebration? I would have been breakdancing if I was number one." People instantly remembered that Cardi had shaded JT earlier in her song Magnet. In that track, Cardi basically called JT Nicki's lapdog, saying she had been writing for Nicki for years without getting a feature in return. That line hurt JT's pride, and this was her revenge moment. But Cardi wasn't having it. She dropped receipts, actual screenshots of messages between JT and her boyfriend Lil Uzi Vert, exposing their rocky relationship. The messages showed how JT often felt insecure and upset about Uzi's behavior, and fans were living for the drama. One of the texts even hinted that JT might be pregnant, which made things even juicier. Cardi captioned the leak saying, "Your man makes you remove every time. You mad at me, but your man still wants his ex." It was messy, unfiltered, and exactly the kind of chaos the internet feeds on. Then the story took another turn when a stylist named Chris Griffith came forward accusing Cardi's man, Offset, of inappropriate behavior. JT instantly used this as an opportunity to take shots at Cardi, saying, "This is nuts and sad. Gay men should be protected. I stand with the gays." But fans quickly clapped back at JT by posting pictures of Lil Uzi Vert wearing feminine clothes, saying she was being hypocritical. JT quickly responded that her man's style was part of his identity and had nothing to do with what was going on. Still, it didn't stop the internet from tearing her apart. By this point, the entire rap world was involved. Everyone from fans to bloggers to random celebrities had something to say. The memes were non-stop. Hashtags like #Nicki vs Cardi and #RapQueensWar were trending for days. At the end of the day, it's clear that this beef runs deep. Both women are powerhouses in the rap industry, and they both have massive egos to match their talent. But what's sad is how this constant,
because of him making a pass at me, it wasn't the that frustrated me the most. What made me most frustrated was the fact that he tried to unalive me after it, when in reality, even though I was drugged, even though I was violated, I never thought that the next step would be my life being threatened because you got turned down. But it's that power complex of wanting what you want when you want it, feeling like you own the things that you pay.
Nicki has built a legendary career that has opened doors for female rappers around the world. Her bars, her style, and her longevity in the game are undeniable. But sometimes her need to prove her dominance keeps dragging her into unnecessary drama. Cardi, on the other hand, is the definition of raw authenticity. She came from reality TV, fought her way up, and became one of the biggest stars in music. She's outspoken, emotional, and wears her heart on her sleeve, which sometimes works against her when things get heated. Both women have loyal fanbases who will defend them to the end, but many people are starting to wonder, when will it stop? When will two powerful, successful black women in rap finally be able to coexist without tearing each other down? For now, though, the internet isn't ready for peace. Every time it looks like things are cooling off, one of them throws a new jab and the fire starts all over again. Fans are calling it one of the most chaotic social media wars in rap history, and honestly, they're not wrong. Between leaked screenshots, old photos, and shade-packed lyrics, this whole thing has become part soap opera, part rap battle. And while some people think this feud is bad for hip-hop, others believe it keeps the culture alive, because controversy sells. Every tweet, every diss, every clapback brings more attention, more streams, and more headlines. At the end of the day, though, both Cardi and Nicki are icons in their own way. They've both changed the game for women in hip-hop, and even though they might not admit it, they've inspired each other more than they'd like to say. Whether they ever make peace or not, one thing's for sure: the rap world will never forget the chaos they brought to the internet. So, what do you think about this wild feud between Cardi B and Nicki Minaj? Was it all for attention, or did things just get too personal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe because